Hey guys, and welcome back to part 2 of my homemade CNC. Today we're going to be looking at how I made the torsion box top for keeping everything nice and flat.
Let's do this.
The torsion box top is made of 3 sheets of 5 foot by 5 foot 3/4 inch Baltic Birch plywood, and also a little strip off of a 4 by 8 sheet of 3/4 inch plywood, as there was a little more needed. And the rest of that sheet will be used for the gantry and other parts. So rather than fussing with 3 pieces and making sure they're all the same, I just took all 3 going in each direction and grouped them together with a couple screws where I knew it wasn't going to interfere with anything, such as the saw blades. So what I do is I head over to the chop saw and make sure everything is down to its final length. Then I'm going to mark everything out and then bring them over to the table saw and notch out the overlaps. So now that everything is notched out and cut to final length, I lay everything out and do a quick dry assembly. So now that everything worked great in the dry assembly, I can take it all apart and put glue in all the joints, and I am very generous with my amount of glue here. So I start laying glue all over all the top, and I'm going to slap down the 5x5 sheet of Baltic Birch. I'm going to use a square to make sure it's square, and adjust all the inner pieces for the right offsets along the sides. So now I'm going to mark out exactly where all the ribs are underneath the top sheet of plywood, so I can make sure I'm screwing directly into them with a whole bunch of 2-inch screws. I then give everything a light sanding just to get rid of any fuzzies or any little burrs that are sticking up. Then it's time to flip it over and do the exact same thing to the other side. This time, while checking that everything is aligned and square, I can actually use a speed square on the side to reach the top and bottom to make sure that they're parallel with each other. Now the last two side pieces I mark in place and cut to length after everything is done because there could be some variances in the thickness of the plywood. This ensures that there's a perfect fit. So the last thing to do on the torsion box is to add the 2 pieces of din rail to either side. These are going to be our linear guides for the gantry. To install the din rail, I'm just using a jig to keep the spacing the same on the top, bottom, and middle, and everything is kept in place with a whole whack of 1 1/4 inch washer head screws. Now, this thing ended up weighing close to 200 pounds, so if you can, find a buddy, give him some beer, and he should be able to help you out.